guys, welcome back to another video. So for this video I'm going to do a flower garden tour, and it will be split into a few sections. So this is the overview of the first section, which are the patio or the porch plants. So I hope you really like this video, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. So first up we have this hanging basket. This pinkish purplish flower is called Gomphrena, and the yellow flowers are Moonbeam. And also in the hanging basket are some trailing petunias. And this is definitely my favorite hanging basket because there's a metal bird in the middle of it. My mom sent me this picture one day with a little frog hanging out with the bird. This is an airplane plant, or also called a spider plant, and during the winter I bring this inside, and then during the summer it hangs outside. And I also have a few more. This is a lemon tree. Sadly, it's an ornamental lemon tree, so it does grow lemons, but I tried cutting one open and tasting it, and it is not good. The lemon tree and Boston fern are also plants I keep inside during the winter, and they come outside during the summer. And the Boston fern used to be a lot bigger, but then it started dying, and then I had to propagate part of it, and so now it's really small. You can see Sydney's little cute feet in the background here, but anyways, this is a moss rose. It's a succulent, and it's one of my favorite flowers out of all of the flowers I have in the garden and in the pots. I just think it's so pretty, and it blooms so many different colors, and it's in a little turtle pot. In this pot is some purple and white colored salvia, and then that bluish fuzzy leaf is a dusty miller. Next we have some containers of chamomile, and they didn't really work out that well in containers, so I think next year I'm going to put them in the ground and spread them apart more. But I did get some blooms, and I specifically mainly grew them to make chamomile tea, but they are also really pretty and they smell good. This pot has a few different things, so the pink, orange, and yellowish flowers are called lantana, or also called big sage. And these are kind of interesting. I don't know if it just depends on how much sun it gets or how much water it gets. I'm not exactly sure, but it does slightly change colors throughout this season. And then there's also some marigolds. And just like in the other pot I just showed you, there is some dusty miller. Here's another one of my airplane plants, and this one is blooming flowers. These are two different types of snake plants, and just like some of my other plants, these go inside during the winter. Here's my bonsai tree. I wired and everything myself. This next section that I am showing an overview of is all the flowers that are in the front, not counting the porch plants, which I just showed you. First, there are two hydrangeas. Next to the hydrangeas is just a mixture of some wildflowers, so I'm not exactly sure what all of these are called. But there's also some forget-me-nots, which is kind of funny because we forgot to plant them until later in the summer, but they're blooming right now and they're really pretty. Here are some black-eyed Susans and a few daisies, mostly black-eyed Susans, and we also used to have painted daisies with the black-eyed Susans, but those only bloom once, like at the beginning of the summer or spring. These are hens and chicks. And there's also two different types of ground cover. This first one right here is dragon's blood, and then this one, I'm not sure what it's called. And here's a few metal flowers. This is some xylem. And the sedum didn't really bloom that much this year, but here's a little bloom. There's two knockout rose bushes. One is kind of a really bright hot pink, and then the other one is a nice light pink. Here's some dianthus, and at the time of filming this, it only had one bloom. And some yarrow. Here's some white speedwell, and what happened here is the blanket flower, I believe, was planted a couple years ago and it didn't come up last year, so we put the speedwell over it, and then the blanket flower came back up, so they're kind of like close together. And then here's also some purple speedwell and also some pink. I believe this is also dianthus. And more dianthus. And then next to that, I'm not really sure what this is. It doesn't have a bloom. And here's the blanket flower I was talking about that's kind of covering the speedwell. This next section is what I call the butterfly garden, because most of the flowers in this area attract butterflies and other pollinators. So first is bee balm, and it looks kind of sad in this video, but it is really pretty when it's all bloomed. But I found a few blooms to show you guys. Here is the first milkweed. This is Anis hysops. And some coreopsis next to the cat. Right next to that is pincushion. Here is milkweed. The caterpillars especially go crazy for this one. This is the butterfly bush. Here we have some salvia. It looks a lot different than the other salvia that I showed you earlier. Right here we have some coneflower. This is yarrow. It just hasn't bloomed yet. Russian sage, this one can get out of hand and grow all over the place, but the bees love it and it smells really good. And catnip can also get out of hand, but the bees also love it too, and so does my cat Xenia. And this is literally the biggest catnip leaf I have ever seen. I think this is another tiny dianthus, and above that is the fall iris. This last section are the flowers on the back porch. So here is a hibiscus, but it doesn't have any flowers right now because a rabbit or some deer or someone keeps on eating it. There also used to be a mandevilla right next to it, but it died earlier this summer. And here's a hanging basket with some more marigolds, and also with some dusty miller.